Why do you think you guys are struggling away from Chestnut Hill?
Yeah, I think it's one big reason is that, when we're on the road, first of all, we make too many what I call catastrophic mistakes, whether it's a fumble snap or an interception or, something breakdown on defense, and we let it snowball. And we've got to figure that out, because our games on the road, obviously most of them, really all of them have been close games. And, that's what it comes down to. At home, we obviously play better. And we're at home, coming up against Cal, but we have to figure out the road, and we're working hard to try to figure it out.
Going into a week where it's a bye week, what have you implemented? How do you make that a point to get better coaching out of your staff, out of yourself for these players?
Well, the first thing we did was we sat in a team meeting, and I showed them the whole tape, every single play of the Stanford game. And, I think it's important for the head coach to get up there in front of them and tell them, like, hey, man, look, this is what we're looking for. We've got to make a better call here, but here you have to execute better. We have to. I think the key to my role is to making sure that these guys know that we're all in it together, that there's no finger pointing. And Courtney, I know it doesn't look like this. I really understand that. I've been doing this a long time, but we're very close. We're close to being what we want to be, but we have to stop with a couple, whether it's, poor coaching decisions or the mistakes that we make, on the field. And so I think it's important to just show them, teach them, think about, what we can do to make it better. We had 2 really good practices where, we scrimmaged and guys showed up ready to go. We have a bunch of great guys, and I believe that we'll turn it around.
Well, Bill, I hope you know this. I hope your players know this. As somebody who's been a fan of BC football for quite some time, it does appear that way. Like, I think that's why these games are so heartbreaking for BC fans right now, is because we see how close you guys are. Whether it was last week or the week before, those are winnable games, and you're so close to it. And I think last week in particular, it's even harder, and I'm sure it's hard for you and the players when it comes to ACC matchups. You've got a bye week now and then another ACC matchup, because those are the games that you really want to capitalize on.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I appreciate you saying that. I just know that, we make we just give you a couple examples. We're driving the ball. We're going in to possibly go up 24-6. We have a bad snap. We give it back to Stanford. Then we're driving the ball again. We get it all the way down to the 1-yard line. We fumble the ball into the end zone. These are these things really don't happen that much in practice. So why do they happen in games? And we have to figure that out, and not. It's not a yelling and screaming thing. It's just, hey man, look, we got to focus on one play at a time. We have to think about, hey, look, get this call,